Okay, so Madam Webb. Yeah, now listen, I know it's out. It's been out and all of that jazz, but at the time I wasn't able to get to the cinema and I wasn't gonna pay to watch it. So it just hit Now TV. And so I thought, you know what, let me check this out. Right, it is directed by S.J. Clarkson and written by Clarkson, Claire Parker, Burk Sharpless, and Matt Sazama. The film is produced by Lorenzo de Bonaventura, executive produced by S.J. Clarkson, right? Adam Merrims and Claire Parker, with line production from Rafael Curvo, Johan Sidorkowitz took care of the music. Muro Fiu was on cinematography. Lee Folsom Boyd edits the piece, with Victoria Thomas on casting. Ethan Tobman was production design. We got art direction from Patrick Scalise, Nick Ralbosky, Lindsay Moran, Eric Chiwan Jion, Jordan Henderson, Brian Felty, Roberto Bonelli, James Bednark, and Ravi Bansal. Anna Ikabalseta, Mila Kalvich, and Vanessa Knoll was set decoration. Nigila Dixon took care of costume design. Right? So our cast, right? Who was in this? Well, Dakota Johnson is Cassandra Webb. Her mother, Constance Webb, is played by Kerry Bish, right? Who I'm watching it. I'm thinking, how do I know this woman? She was the lead in the last season of Scrubs, right? I was like, that's how I know her, right? So we have them. Ezekiel Sims, right, is Constance's business partner, like guide kind of thing, and he is played by Tahar Rahim. We then have got Anna Corazon, played by Isabela Merced. We've got Matty Franklin, played by Celeste O'Connor, and Julie Cornwall, played by Sydney Sweeney. All right, Cassandra, Cassie, she works with Ben Parker. Yes, that Ben Parker, played by Adam Scott. He's obviously, his sister-in-law is Mary Parker, played by Emma Roberts. Ben and Cassie work with O'Neill, played by Mike Epps. We got Amaria, who works with Ezekiel, played by Zozia Mamet. There's Santiago, played by Jose Maria Yazpic. Susan, played by Kathy Ann Hart. Julia Cornwall's dad is played by Josh Drennan. Her half sibling is played by Yuma Feldman. We've got landlady played by Naeem Garcia. Chloe, played by Jennifer Ellis. Anne, played by Chris Sidbury. Loma, played by Erica Souza. Yeah, I mean, that's probably our main lot of people, right? The gist of the story is, in a switch from the typical genre, Madam Web tells the standalone origin story of one of Marvel Publishing's most enigmatic heroines. The suspense-driven thriller stars Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, a paramedic in Manhattan who develops the power to see the future and realizes she can use that insight to change it. Forced to confront revelations about her past, she forges a relationship with 3 young women bound for powerful destinies if they can all survive a deadly present. So yes, that, people, is the film. And it's, I don't know, it's so odd. It's such an odd film that I'm kind of baffled how a lot of this came to be. Right? It's actually S.J. Clarkson's feature directorial debut. Now, she's done a whole host of TV stuff. Right? She's worked on some huge things. I mean, for me, like, one of the best things that she did early on was Life on Mars. Right? She did 6 episodes of Life on Mars, and Life on Mars is great. Right? That's so good. She directed episodes of Heroes, never watched it. She did some Dexter, Ugly Betty, right? House, you know? And yeah, from there, you know, she's been doing stuff, Bates Motel, Orange is the New Black, right? She did Jessica Jones, so she had some Marvel, you know, work in the bag before this. Vinyl. She went back to do Defenders, Succession. You know what I mean? So she's talented, right? She's talented. But this story is kind of a mess. It really kind of comes across as a bit of a mess, right? Now, they've made some changes which are a little odd. I mean, it's not the craziest things, but Julie Cornwall, I don't even know why they just don't use the actual name Julie Carpenter. You know what I mean? That's a bit, like, weird. But we are just, you know, we open up with Constance, right? We get this whole sequence of her and what happens with Ezekiel and just all of that kind of stuff, which doesn't necessarily make sense. The Ezekiel part of it doesn't really make any sense. Also, there's a thing that plays out, right? Because we have Cassandra throughout the film being like, I hate my mum. My mum's an arsehole. All of this kind of stuff. And you think, in the jungle, right, when Constance is there, right, doing what she's doing, she would have referenced this thing that we learn later on in the film. Right? If that's your driver for being there, you're gonna say the thing, right? So that's weird. Also, and I've just thought about this, how the fuck did the baby get out of the jungle? Right? That's something that's just like, wait, hold on. Because everyone was dead. Everyone was dead. So it's just like, how the fuck did the baby get out the jungle? Yeah, that's an odd one, right? Now, we're with Cassie and Ben, right? It's the throwing in the other stuff, right? To be like, oh, well, let's connect it to everything else, and Ben can work with Cassie, and let's have Mary in it, and obviously because so the baby she's gonna pop out is gonna be Peter. You know what I mean? It's just a bit like, did we need all of that? I don't think we did. You know what I mean? I think you could have just kept this its own thing, right? You can maybe reference some stuff, but you don't have to try and force it down everyone's throats. But she's a paramedic, and we get this scene where a kid wants to thank her for saving his mum and has a picture, and she's just like, what do I do with it? And you're just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Right? This is the thing. There's certain jobs where the interactions are given. Right? You know what it is. Right? People thank doctors, nurses, paramedics, firemen, right? All the time. It's just one of those things, right? So giving, someone gets ill, they recover, like it's a thank, be like, oh, here's a picture. So to try and be like, oh, was this the first time? Shut up. Right? Obviously it would not have been the first time she was handed a fucking photo. Right? If you want to make it like the first time, this has to be her first day on the job. That's what we gotta do. It's also alluded to that Cassie and Ben are fuck buddies, right? That's how it's kind of, which is odd, right? We get this odd kind of thing, but there's absolutely no chemistry. There is no chemistry. Not just between Cassie and Ben, but between anyone. There is nothing. There's a vacuum of chemistry in this film, and it is so bizarre because we have got all of these very talented actors. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously, right? You know from previous reviews, I don't like Emma Roberts' films, but it's not to say she's a shit actress, right? So you have all of these talented people, but no chemistry, nothing. We have lines that sound so wooden. It is painful. And it's just hard to kind of fathom how we got here. We got this bit where, like, Cassie is teaching, like Anna, Julia, and Matty how to do CPR. And it's like, why? Why are we doing this? Right? But obviously, because they focused on this now for a good few minutes, we know it's going to factor into the film. And obviously it does. But it's just so random, so weird. The powers, right? She has powers, but where anyone in their right mind would be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? How does this, right? You would have someone being able to, like, trying to work it out. Nothing. We go for like ages into this film before she and she doesn't even really test the powers. You know what I mean? She attempts to climb a wall. That's it, right? And then well, I can't really say, but there's a thing. But she doesn't practice the powers. Doesn't try to practice the powers, which is super weird. And even when we have the first meeting between them all, it doesn't really make any sense. You know, just the interactions don't make any sense. You're just like, what? What is here? Like, you can just say something. It's one of those films, you know what I mean, where people don't, like, I'm not going to tell the truth, or, oh, I'm going to hold this back, when there's absolutely no reason for it. Right? There's absolutely no reason why you just don't tell the person the thing. Right? And it's with this, because it's just like, we see the person on the walls, right? On the ceiling. So what you say isn't going to be weirder than that. So say it, right? If you want people to follow you, to trust you, do that. And it's that thing of, right, because you want to show strong women, right? Want to show strong women. It's a very female-centric, film behind the camera. Great. But here's the thing. It's like, to show a strong female, their kind of thing is, oh, she's rude, right? You have Cassie being so rude and weird to people. Same with Matty. Same with Anya. And you're just like, I mean, you can be strong without being rude and weird. Do you know what I mean? And it's just that odd thing that happens sometimes where, strong equates to rudeness. And you're just thinking, if someone is like, they're gonna have no friends. No one will want to be around them. So, it's a baffling film. Like, there's a weird thing with the music where it sounds a lot of the time like it's underwater. And I don't know why. Right? You think, oh, is it meant to kind of show it's in a dream sequence maybe? Or in one of the kind of futures? It's not even that. Right? So it's just a little bizarre. It's a little bizarre, the effects are a bit weird. I don't think it necessarily is the best way to show like manifestation of powers and all of this kind of thing. And the other things with the script is just like, you drop people in woods and you tell them not to move. So obviously they're going to. Right? It's a very predictable story. And then the conclusion is a bit like, meh. And Madam Webb, right? Madam Webb is, wears the glasses and all of this. The depiction of someone who's blind, so fucking bizarre. Like the weird head movements. I'm just like, oh, yes, I can't see you, so I'm going to be like, ooh. You're just like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? It's bizarre. This is a bizarre film. I get why it didn't gravitate with people. And it's just a little baffling how Sony really struggle to get these things right when they're doing it on their own. You know, the Spider-Man, the Spider-Man official films work because Marvel is running them, it seems. But Sony just, and it's talented people, right? And not just the actor, but everyone involved. They're talented. So I don't understand. I really do not understand how we get to this point. But yeah, I wanted to really enjoy it. Because, you know, you don't want to sit down for 2 hours and think, ugh, this sucks. You want to be like, yes, that was awesome. Unfortunately, that's not the experience I had. But maybe you like it. Maybe you like... Look, I think if you really liked Morbius, Venom, the original Fantastic Four films... yeah. If you like those, you could very well like Madam Web, right? If you liked Black Adam, Blue Beetle, like those films, The Flash, you might like Madam Web. That's all I can say for you people. So yeah, just my thoughts, baby. Just my thoughts.